Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today is a very special day. I have now hit episode 400. And so, what I usually do for when I hit special milestones and that kind of stuff, I will put together an anime giveaway. Okay, so this is now our sixth giveaway that we've been doing. So people who have done it in the past, already know what to do, and you can go back and see some previous episodes and see some of the cool stuff that I've given away and whatnot. Okay, so before we begin, I want to remind everyone to go down below and click like and click subscribe. We know that any sort of comment that you can make will help the YouTube algorithm promote it and make it available to more people. All right, so anything that you do will be great. That's a little, I don't ask for much, but again, if you could at least do that, then it will definitely help the YouTube algorithm. Thank you. And for those who like to support me financially, I do also have the super thanks button down below, as well as the links for the PayPal and the Patreon. Now, I've been building a lot to the Patreon recently. I've now put a lot of resources available to you people, as well as a lot of the content that is for the subscribers that I cannot put on YouTube, because there's now a lot of topics that I'm now covering which are not allowed to be put on the YouTube, so all those things are now available to the members there. As well as I've also now put the my audiobooks available as in audio form and on video form as well. Those are also partially free to the Patreon members, so do check that out. Okay, and so for all the other new users that are on this channel, I've also compiled all the episodes of the History of Fan Anime into a large database sheet. And if you like to basically look at different episodes that are pertaining to certain topics, like maybe CDs or maybe art books or maybe the fan culture itself, like conventions and that kind of stuff, they're all put together in a book-like fashion, and they're put into the spreadsheet. Again, the link is below, as well as other resources like the database sheets for the My Anime list of the 1980s, and of course the top 30 animes of the 1980s is also all available in spreadsheet form there. Link is below. Okay, I'd just like to make a mention that my ebook, first ebook, is now available on the Patreon. So you could use Amazon Kindle or a Rakuten Kobo. You can use an iPad, or you can use a Samsung tablet or something if you want. There's built-in apps on the Mac, like iBooks and that kind of stuff. You can read it on that. Anything like that is now available on there, so you can grab that. All the various different ebook materials, including the audiobooks, are free to any of the tiers that I have on my Patreon. So that's the standard monthly or the Buy Me a Coke. Subscribe for 1 month. You get them all for free on the Patreon. So go check that out. And it's also a good time because you get priority pick if you are also part of the Patreon. So really good time to join up now. Okay, so most of it is just kind of go over what we've done. So basically, whenever I hit these sort of main sort of milestones, I have a lot of stuff that I've collected over from when I used to run the store. I used to sell CDs and DVDs and music and all that kind of stuff, and so I still have a lot of that stuff left over. And so, using that kind of stuff to basically, whenever we come up to these milestones, I have stuff to give back to the community. Things that are collectible to you, obviously, because it's we're in an era of very disposable media, and a lot of shows that you follow are just kind of passing things, almost as bad as music, right? You just kind of listen to it and then you go to the next one, or if you don't like it, you just kind of toss it aside. So I'm bringing back this sort of feeling of a participation, a little more sort of a little more a sentimental tie, because you've actually invested some part of time, some sort of resource to actually get some of the things that you have. So I'm offering some of these things again to you absolutely for free. The only thing I ask for is for some shipping for some special results, some of the stuff that gets a little heavy. Again, we'll get to that later. So basically, what I'm going to do for the next few episodes, I'm going to display a couple things that are going to be available for you. You just make a little list of all the things that you like. I'm gonna sort of have to break this up because I said like this episode is gonna be mostly from media, so things pertaining to the fact that back in the day, in order to get anime, you actually had to order it or get it on a physical piece of thing, right? So had to be a VHS tape, had to be a lasers, had to be a tape. Okay, so I've got a whole bunch of little things coming up. If you are interested in that, write it down. There will be an episode where I'm going to explain how the postage and stuff works. At that time, I'll be asking you for that list. You post that list in the comments below, and then I'll rank it according to first come first serve, as well as rank it against people who are subscribers or have put donations into the Patreon or into the PayPal. Okay, your names will get picked first. Okay, so get that pen and paper ready, and let's go over some of the items. All right, so ready for some media? Okay, so all right, so for the first thing that a lot of people ask for is like media. Okay, so I went through my archives in my collection, and I found a set of these. Okay, so these are some classic audio cassettes. So back in the day, the only way, like again, because things like Napster and LimeWire and all this stuff doesn't exist yet. The internet's not fast enough for you to download music off the internet. So the only way to get them is you had to write a pen pal or whatever. In my case, I wrote a whole bunch of people that are in my CFO and that kind of stuff. And I've got these cassettes that they I said, hey, I'd like to see the soundtrack of that. So send me a copy of it, right? So now, of course, I got it. I got these things recorded and whatnot. And now, I've, of course, replaced them with with CDs and that kind of stuff in my own collection. But so I still have these ones, these original ones that are 1987, 88, 1990, roughly. Some of these things, that are still here, and they're in my archives. And if you're interested in them, I'll read some of the names out, and then if you're interested, write that on your list. Okay, so here is a soundtrack for Yoko Leda and Lock to Superman. And I noticed that this is in really, really nice handwriting. So I'm pretty sure this is from Cindy out of the CFO Denver. Okay, so if you're interested in that soundtrack. There's a soundtrack for Terry and Batsu, the movie, as well as Maison Kaku, the final movie. And let's see, this is a really rough handwriting. I'm thinking this might be from Tim Eldred, maybe, possibly. Okay, this is a soundtrack for Perfectional Earth Defense Force. Okay, so Kichi Boyogan. Okay, and the soundtrack for Area 88 Part 1. Again, this is in really nice handwriting. So this is again from Cindy in CFO Denver. Let's see. This one is Vodoms Volume 1 and the soundtrack for the OEVA Harmageddon. Okay. Now this is written in colored pen, so this is from Tom Miller. Because what he likes to do is he has the felt pen that's either in multiple different colors. So those multi pens that are like 10 different colors on one pen, and you just kind of click it to give each different color. Yeah, sometimes he'd give me letters where each letter is a different color. So you can just kind of imagine a person writing, V in the color red, and then click, O, click, T, O, click, O, click, M, Votoms, right? All in 5 different colors, right? So yeah, I remember, that kind of idea from him. What is this one? This is the soundtrack for Sherlock Holmes or Hound, and Lilycat, the OEVA. It's that same kind of writing that the other one was in, Terry and Batsu. So it's probably from Tim Eldred, probably, I'm thinking. VIFAM, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Okay, the soundtrack for that one. And I'm not sure who I got this one from. Probably from a record, so and the person didn't label it, so because I had to label it, it's in my handwriting. So the soundtrack for VIFAM. Okay, so anything write down your list. Okay, so it progressed onwards. So that now after we've been saying copying tapes and whatnot, we progressed on to ordering CDs and that kind of stuff. So I got a stack of CDs here. When we started going down to Iwase bookstore in Richmond and that kind of stuff, of different CDs that sort of came up, and And if I wanted a soundtrack, I had a CD catalog, and we could order stuff like that. So again, I got some different ones here, okay, that you might be interested in. Okay, so first of all, I have a various set here. I have the soundtracks for Macross Plus. This was like a super awesome Macross from the 80s. Still, I think it was one of the best ones around there, right? So I've got soundtrack number 1, 2, and 3. So again, if you're interested in any one of those ones, that's a really good choice in that one. I have the Mary Ajima Gold CD. So this is a best collection CD for Mary Ajima. She's the one who does Minmay's voice, Macross, the movie song thing there. Okay. I have the Neon Genesis Evangelion, the movie Death CD. Genesis Evangelion. I have for all you people who like video game stuff. This is the soundtrack for Lunar. Okay, so soundtrack for Lunar there. This is the X Japan live concert. Okay, so in case you're into that thing, I do believe they have Forever Love in this. Endless Rain, yes, they have that in this one. Forever Love from the X movie. Okay, and then I have a couple collection CDs. So this is the best collection for artist called Manish. I have the Japanese release CD of what is this? Ice, Soul Dimension. Okay, and this is the best collection for what's their name? Yuki Uchida. Okay, again. So again, if you're interested in getting into J-pop and that kind of stuff, there's some more things for you. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to get into some bigger things. So again, back in the day, in order to get videos and that kind of stuff for doing subtitling and whatnot, we actually had to order them from Japan, right? Because sure, I was able to go to the Japanese video rental store and maybe rent out a copy of Orange Road or whatever, but it wasn't good enough quality to use the subtitles for, right? So in order to do that, we'd have to, actually order the laserdiscs from Japan. So I've got a set here, okay? This is box 1 and box 2 of Maison Ikkoku, okay? Now, the story is simply this, okay? So inside these boxes are the various different things, and I'll just quickly squish it. So I've got the first 12 laserdiscs from Maison Ikkoku here. And the story is that, again, once I finished doing Orange Road, I started subtitling Maison Ikkoku, right? And, I started buying them individually, one by one, disc for disc like this, right? Because it said, it's probably a little bit easier on the budget, and you can kind of, get them as they come out and whatnot, right? And so we started working on them and whatnot. And then we went down to San Diego Comic-Con and met up with the person who's Robert Gutierrez over at Ranma Project, and we started talking about doing and continue on doing the subtitles for Maison Ikkoku. Now, Robert Gutierrez didn't do a heck of a lot of the Maison Ikkoku. I think he did the first handful, like 1 to 4. And then basically, we kind of jumped in there and we kind of, surpassed that and really was already, halfway through, completing the series, right? So, so as you can see, I've already went out and bought a large number of the lasers. Anyway, so through our discussions, he agreed that maybe we should let him take over doing these fan subs for Maison Ikkoku, right? So what we did then is that since he had already bought the 24 laserdisc box set of Maison Ikkoku, I stopped buying these ones and basically got the episodes from him and did the fan subs off of those, okay? And then basically from this point onwards, he supplied us with the SVHS masters to do all the remaining Maison Ikkoku episodes all the way up to 96. I then later in turn bought the same, big, huge ass box set that he did, and so therefore I no longer need these ones. So again, if you're interested in a copy of the these Maison Akaku LDs, then this set can be yours if you like. I can sign some part of it or inside sleeve if you want. To note that these ones were the actual ones that we used to first start doing the Maison Akaku series. Sentimental or sort of a historical type of thing. Definitely, that is one thing that I've got available here. The second set that I want to offer, okay, to people is this set here, okay? This is our, this is for the God Bless Dan Cougar, okay? God Bless Machine Dan Cougar. It's a Laserdisc box set. There are two of them. So there's this one for season 1 and this one for season 2, okay? Again, these are the sets that we use to subtitle Dan Cougar with, okay? Now, Dan Cougar is one of those series that... Dan Cougar was always one of those series that I particularly liked. Daisuke didn't like it. But what I did, the story behind this one is that when I took and got the lasers for this one, what I did is I again, tried to find someone willing to translate this thing, right? So this is a really nice set because it contains a lot of really cool stuff, okay? It contains the, episodes as listed there. So what I did is that, I put it out there that I wanted to do Dan Cougar, and I was looking for translators, finding people who might be able to translate for me. Well, lo and behold, I got in contact with Anna Exter, who actually, doesn't live far. At this time, it was, not more than a ferry ride away. To get in contact with her. So anyway, so I wrote her and said, hey, I'm doing a series of, Dan Cougar. Would you be willing to translate that? So I basically commissioned her to do the translation for the series, and then I did all the various fan subs for that. This one contains the Jusingtai songs and the God Bless Dan Cougar OVA there, which is kind of really neat. And so we did so I got her to translate the entire thing. She even did the OVAs and the movies that followed. And she actually came over to my place and I showed her how to use the fan subbing equipment and that kind of stuff. And she literally spent like an entire weekend, well over 20, pretty much 24 hours. Okay. I wouldn't say 24 hours straight, but she spent the time here in front of the computer, timing it, going through probably 2 or 3 times, making sure that all the errors and all the timing mistakes were fixed and whatnot. And actually, we went through and did, the subtitles for the movies, and it was really, it was a really bang up job that she did. Anyway, so just quickly go through the second box here, so you can see that it has all the various different characters and that kind of stuff, in this box right here, and okay, and that's for the OEV. This is for the OEVAs, okay. And so yes, we did all the translation of that, and again, this was sort of one of the first things that she did, sort of unprofessionally, before she started getting into doing all the stuff for, Bandai and Genom and all that kind of stuff, and whatnot. Okay, and also these books, it comes to 2 individual snip books for more detailed information. So again, if you're interested in these Dan Cougar box sets, again, you can sign up for that. And if you want to, I can sign, somewhere in here or whatever, or maybe just like on the inset there or something, just to seem less inconspicuous. But yeah, so these are the these are the box sets that I use to make the Dan Cougar fan subs. Okay. And so the last thing I wanted to go over is, something a little bit more modern, is when we switched over to like DVDs and some VCDs and that kind of stuff, right? So, again, when we started going into, the Iwase bookstore, into Chinatown, so, we went to, Chinatown in Richmond during our sort of, Iwase runs that we used to do on Friday, we'd go to these places. And some of these places that they sell a lot of stuff from Taiwan and from Hong Kong and that kind of stuff, and they of course that's also a good place to get a lot of anime kind of stuff, right? And sometimes the stuff that wasn't available kind of out there, they had, right? So one of the things that I had was, especially for those people who are interested in really Korean music, I got the Baby Vox concert CD here. So again, if you're interested in a lot of Korean music, this is first gen sort of music. And as I always had a thing for girl bands, so this is something that if you're interested, this is the concert for them. Also, one of the other really big things that I ended up getting and I found was this set here. This is a DVD box set for SPT Laser. Okay, now it's kind of funny because it's made by a company called Indian, right? And it's out of Hong Kong, if I remember right. Taiwan, sorry, it's out of Taiwan, all right. And it has English and Chinese subtitles on this one. And the funny thing is that some of the the way I did this one, okay, is I have the laserdiscs for SPT Laser, and I bought these ones afterwards because I didn't have the translation for my laserdiscs that I had. So I got these ones, and they did have English subtitles on them. And I thought, okay, maybe what I can do is I can use some funny stuff and whatever, and I might be able to rip the subtitles off it and then edit them and fix them and then put them back up and do it that way. Right? That was my thought, right? Little, of course, did I know that you really can't do that, but so live and learn. But in the end, what it ended up doing is I took these and basically made video cassettes and audio cassettes of them, and then I gave those to Chinese translators that were willing to take it and transcribe it into English. Then we fixed them up, and then we did the fan subs for them. Okay, so that's sort of these weren't the things that we actually used to do the fan subs, because I already have the laserdiscs for them. But these are the ones that I used to to get the Chinese out of them, right? So try to rip the subtitles so that some translators read faster than they listen, so they can type it in faster, or some people just I gave them an audio cassette and they just translated it off of the sounds they heard because they listen to Chinese better, that kind of thing. Because I bought it in two different things, they so this is box 2 and this is box 1. Okay, so you can kind of see, but they have a different number of episodes because they made the DVDs in a different fashion. Okay, so that's why it's kind of a weird thing. But all the episodes are here. So again, if you're interested in a copy of or DVD copy of SPT Laser, again, this set might be for you. Okay, so this is the first episode of many of items that are available. So these are mostly quote media. Again, if you're interested in them, again, just write on the list. In another maybe 2 or 3 episodes, I'm going to go over some of the other things that are available, and then I'm going to make a video about the how to do the shipping and that kind of stuff. When that episode comes out, that is the time to give me that list. So if you're interested in any of these things, be aware of how that's going to come to you, and then I'll get that from you to get those shipped out. Again. So again, there's some exciting stuff here. If you want it, doesn't cost you anything. So I remember, for example, these Maison Ikaku lasers. I remember that when I bought these, like I said, some of these are like literally. I kept the plastic sleeving and that kind of stuff on them, right? And to keep them preserved and all that, right? So the discs are immaculate condition for them, right? But I can see the price. Like when I ordered this from Awase, it's $92.64. Okay, for each of these things. And if you look at the back of the Laserdisc, right? Okay, it's 4,666 6 yen. And so each one of these is about $46.60. So about $50 US. Okay, but I'm paying because of the markup and the shipping and that kind of stuff, $92 Canadian, and then taxes on top of that too, right? So you can imagine, I paid a lot of money, like $100 for each of these lasers, and you can have it for literally nothing. All right? So, lots of goodies there. And again, you want to stay tuned for the next couple episodes where I'm going to tell you some more stuff because you might want to add more stuff to your shopping list. So this is going to be a really cool Christmas for you. Indeed, a little sort of gift for yourself. All right? So, until next time, I will see you